Hey, welcome back. I'm Wes Wood, the Income Guy, and today we're talking about improving your financial resilience, especially during retirement. So far, we've looked at some of the common causes of financial setbacks for retirees, but now let's look at some specific steps that you can take to improve your ability to bounce back, starting with some things that you can do before you retire. So first, very important, is to track your spending. Knowing where your money is going is the first key to making sure you have enough of it when a crisis does occur. And then the second one, cut your spending. If you're not expecting a raise or a windfall of money coming in, the next best way to increase your income is to reduce your spending. It might seem difficult, but in reality, it's normally a challenge that's in your head and not in your wallet. And three, reduce your debt. Start with your high interest credit card debt and then work towards eliminating the rest of it, or at least reducing as much as you possibly can before you get to retirement. And number four, create an emergency fund. This can be a great goal to work towards as you track and cut your expenses and your spending. Funnel all that extra money into a fund large enough to cover at least 6 months of living expenses. A savings fund can be there to pay for any major issues that could come up and give you plenty of financial resilience during a short-term emergency. And five, increase your income. While cutting your spending is one way to do this, another option can include creating passive income streams. Maybe through a business you want to start up, or investments that are income-based strategies. Plus, by learning how to set up an income-based strategy through passive income, you're better prepared to create a solid and resilient income strategy for your retirement. And we'll talk more about that in just a bit. But first, let's talk about 2 ways to improve your resilience just before you retire. Number one, identify your weaknesses and then shore those up. As we've already talked about, some of the specific issues that can cause financial setbacks in retirement, you want to look at those issues very closely and determine if your plan is really prepared to deal with those issues. For instance, do you have a plan that protects you from a potential drain of rising healthcare costs, or from a major financial toll from a major medical event? Or does it protect you from the danger of spending down your principal to satisfy your required minimum distributions, or pay for in-home care? If your answer to those questions is either no, or you're just not sure, then those are weak spots that can lower your financial resilience. The sooner that you can find the right advisor to help you strengthen them, the better you're going to be in the long run. Which brings us to the second thing that you can do to improve your financial resilience just before your retirement, is find an advisor who specializes in retirement income. Your current advisor may deal in retirement planning, but he may not specialize in the kinds of tools and the strategies that you need in order to plan your resilience as you should be during retirement. And I'm going to talk more about that in just a second. But right now, here's another chance to order your copy of my timely report, 7 Risks to Your Retirement. It's free with your retirement income kit, and it's all yours by visiting retiretv.com or by calling our office directly at 855-776-0614. But now, let's welcome back income specialist David Scranton. Welcome back, Dave.
Thank you. You talk about essentially, the various causes of financial setbacks, and you think of natural disasters, right? A fire in your house or a flood. You might even think of maybe a layoff in normal times. But in the last year and a half, we had one that no one had thought of for over 100 years, and that's what a pandemic could do to your emergency fund.
Yeah, I think it was a real eye-opener for so many people, and really helped people hopefully get their financial ducks in order. Obviously, nobody saw this pandemic coming, but now we know it's a reality and it can happen. And with unemployment hitting record highs, last year the government stepped in and helped out a lot of people, but it may not happen again. But no matter what, people need to make sure that they've got plenty of money sitting there on the sidelines to be able to weather the storms of either pandemics, illnesses, or just simply job loss. And really that starts with what I talked about in the segment, making sure you've got a good emergency fund. If you've got 3 to 6 months, that may be okay. For some folks in retirement, maybe you need up to a year sitting at the bank, sitting in liquid assets that you can access, so you don't have to sell off other assets that you may have, or potentially pay a lot of extra taxes by withdrawing from those retirement savings accounts that you're planning on using in the future.
Yeah, it's funny because you talked about 2 things. You talked about shoring up those weaknesses, all the things you just discussed, but you also talked about finding the right income specialist to help you once you've shored up those weaknesses. And I think of those really as being interchangeable in many ways.
They are. I mean, there's a lot of different advisors in our industry, right? And all of them, talk about retirement with their clients and maybe plan for retirement. But oftentimes they don't really deal mainly with retirees and understand all the weak spots that can happen for some of their clients. And what I've seen because of that, they don't really know what the true weaknesses are. They don't understand the real cost. And if they're not educating their clients about the real cost and the weaknesses, then how can you shore it up? There's so many generalists in our industry out there, people that deal with all walks of life, whether they're graduating college or they're well into their 80s or 90s. And because of being more of a generalist out there, a lot of times those specific situations that can happen for retirees are going to get missed out on because they don't really understand the real red flags that can happen.
Yeah, a lot of times I think people look at the term retirement planning specialist and think, well, that's a specialist in working with someone who's retired. But there's a big difference between a retirement planning specialist and an income specialist, correct?
Exactly right, because typically an income specialist, like being the income guy here, most of my clients are at retirement or near retirement. So we focus on strategies that are designed to generate interest and dividends, not growth, interest and dividends. And being an income specialist dealing in that world, typically our clients are going to be folks that are over 50 years old, getting into retirement or well into retirement. And more income specialists, that's their niche. It's like you're not going to go to your pediatrician forever. You're eventually going to graduate and go to your primary care and then your geriatric doctor. And that's true in the income specialist world. Most income specialists are going to work with folks that are retired. But Dave, thank you again, and please do stick around. And coming up, I'll talk more about how investing for income gives you a financial strategy with resilience baked right into it. I'm Wes Wood, the income guy, and you're watching the Retirement Income Show. Wood Financial Group wants you to have the retirement of your dreams, and that means financial abundance. Knowing retirement can last for over 30 years, our team is focused on providing income-producing strategies so you can live comfortably and worry-free. Voted Middle Tennessee's best investment services company for many years, we will ensure you have abundant income throughout retirement, so you can spend more time doing the things you love with the people you love. Wood Financial Group, abundance for life.
Retirement accounts like 401ks and IRAs are great tools to save for retirement. They offer tax advantages to help keep more money in your pocket. But withdrawing money from your accounts can have a huge impact on your tax liability. Take money from the right account at the right time and you could minimize it. But taking money from the wrong account at the wrong time could result in a big tax burden. If you're not sure what you should do with your 401k in retirement, visit retiretv.com to schedule a free, no-obligation conversation with Wes Wood and Wood Financial Group.
Hi, I'm Wesley Wood, host of the Retirement Income Show, and I'm founder and president of Wood Financial Group. And we're a local independent financial services company that specializes in creating custom retirement solutions tailored to meet your particular needs.
Visit retiretv.com to learn how we can help you create a customized retirement portfolio.